Hey, welcome to week number 4 of the I Am series. This week we're going to be looking at where Jesus says, I am the gate. In John 10:9, Jesus said, I am the gate. Now, Pastor Alex told us this Sunday about how the shepherds would bring the sheep in, that they would build these walls and they would put a gate in, and that they would only let the shepherd come in or the sheep come in through that gate, and how it was there to protect them. So they had the sheep in one place and they could take care of them, look after them, and keep them safe. I love the fact that Jesus said that I am the gate, or I am a door, whichever version of the Bible you're looking at. I like the idea of it being a gate. It's a simple way in and out. Can you imagine what it had been like if Jesus had said, I'm a wall? I mean, think about it. What we would have done if he said, I am a wall, we would have come together and we would have come up with these elaborate plans on what we need to do to build the proper scaffolding. We would say, hey, listen, it needs to be made of this material. It needs to have this ornate decorations. It needs to be this high, this wide, have this many steps. And then what would we do? Then we would go and try and find the best designers to build it. We would want the biggest names, the most elaborate scaffolding that they could do, the most beautiful thing, because after all, this is for God and we need to do something special. And so they would build these scaffolding. And then before we let people start to climb the scaffolding that they might finally get over the wall and into the sheep pen, we would say, now here's the rules. You have to dress like this. You have to sing these type of songs. You have to act this way. You have to be part of this group to be able to get in, to climb up. And what would end up happening? We would get to the top of the scaffolding. We would reach for the wall and realize that in all our efforts and all our wisdom, we'd built the scaffolding too short and we still can't climb in. Our works are never going to get us into heaven. No matter what we do, we will never be able to build a way for us to get to heaven. It's always going to be about Jesus's finished work on the cross. And that's why when Jesus said, I am the gate, it's a simple way to get in. We come to the gate just like everyone else. We come in faith, believing that Jesus died on the cross for us, that he left heaven, he came to earth, he was the sinless Son of God, and that he took our place on the cross. The Bible says not only did he die for our sin, but he became our sin. All the things that you have done in your life or I've done in my life, all the ways that we have broken God's laws and separated ourselves from God, Jesus not only paid for those, but he became that sin. He died, he was buried, and because he was a righteous sacrifice, God rose him up on the third day so that Jesus stands as the person who paid the price that we might enter into his sheepfold, a place of eternal rest, eternal safety, and eternity with God himself. And so we come to Jesus believing that fact, and we say, Jesus, listen, I know I'm a sinner and you died for my sins. I want to be forgiven. I want to come into a right relationship with you. Then he opens the door and lets us come in. We don't have to try and find ways to scale the wall. We don't have to worry about becoming the perfect Christian. Well, when I read my Bible enough, when I pray enough, when I attend a church enough, when I'm serving enough, when I get rid of these set of sins in my life, then I'll be good enough to get to heaven. None of those things are true. The truth is we come to Jesus and he will open the gate for us. When we come and say, I need you to let me in, he says, sure enough, come on in. He never turns anyone away. Anyone who comes to him and says, I want to come in, then he opens the door and lets them come in to his sheep pen, his sheepfold, the place to be a part of his flock, a place where we are always loved, we are always cared for, we're always protected. He gives us everything that we need to get through this life. He is the one that we go to. So I don't know what you are doing in your life. I don't know where you are. But if you're trying to measure up, trying to figure out a way to get into heaven, just stop. Just stop. Don't try and find a way to heaven and try and get to know Jesus. Spend time knowing him. Look what the Bible says about entering into a relationship with him. And by entering into that relationship, what you'll find is that you are a resident of heaven. You're a child of God. You're joint heirs with Christ. That you are a citizen of heaven.